So when is a good time to refinance?
That's a good one.
Hold tight. We'll talk about that. Cliff with ER Real Estate, and
I'm Bex with Sun American Mortgage.
Bex, you need to start saying Tan Bex. You only got about another 2 months to say that.
I know. If I'm
I don't
lucky,
know. I didn't see a whole lot of.
I know.
You got a base, but
I didn't get to go out this week.
All right.
We're going to St. George at the end of the month, though, so
that's in 2 weeks.
Get some sun then.
Wow. What are you gonna do? Go to the lake?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mountain biking and the lake.
Nice. All right, Tan update is over. What's the rate for this week? Sorry we didn't do it yesterday. She had something going on.
Yes.
So Tuesday's
so
not
a
bad,
day late, but rates are looking really good. Conventional, we're at about 6.5, so still holding that good position. Their advertised rate, you're seeing closer to 6.25. So not a huge spread there, but still a little bit of fluctuation depending on if you've got money you can utilize for rate buy down, seller credits, those kinds of things we're still seeing. And then on the FHA side, we're seeing a 6.125 as a true rate, same as VA. And then advertised rate, you're seeing 5.625. So a little bit of room there. Yeah, with a buy down.
Last week you sent out some information from Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, and I think there was another reason. I'm going to post it on my Facebook, so hold tight. But what is the research? Because you went up to Q2 of 2026.
Yeah, so it's showing the forecast of what they anticipate rates to look like over the next couple of quarters. And then the last column that he's going to post is going to show kind of the average between the three different ones that kind of track and judge those kinds of things. Obviously, these are just forecasts, so reality will show what ends up happening, but these are kind of the projections, and really there's not a lot of movement.
No, it's right around the mid sixes to 6.25. So that's what I noticed anyways. All right, so you'll get that. Bex's picture will be on there, so you'll see her again.
One thing to note on that, keep in mind that everybody, if you're looking for rates to come down, so is everybody else. So as soon as rates do, if they do come down, even just that 0.25%, that means you're going to have more competition in the market, which means home prices might go up. So you want to kind of evaluate that with a lender. I'm happy to help you with that, to kind of see, does it make sense to hope for rates to come down, or does it make sense to get in now before more buyers flood the market?
And that's a great tuition, right? Or a great transition to talk about when you refi. Because we could talk about that. What's a good way to do it? Buy what the prices. Look, everything's inflated after COVID. There's no way. But right now in today's market, the price is probably as low as they're going to get. They've been holding steady. We haven't seen much growth, just a little bit. But everything. But again, as Bex mentioned, as soon as the rates drop, those prices are going to go chook. So when is a good time to buy? Okay, so let's talk about it. Refinance. Can you give us some terms that people may hear in the financial world when somebody wants to refinance?
Yes. So some of the terms that you're going to hear are a rate and term refinance versus a cash out refinance. So the difference is a rate and term refinance is you're not pulling more equity out of your home. You're just wanting to refinance what you currently have financed, but you're hoping to get a lower rate. So if you locked in where the rates were a little bit higher, and now you can get into a better position with a rate and extend your term back out to 30 years, that's going to help lower that payment for you. So that's a rate and term refinance. A cash out is if you've been in the home for a while and you have some equity, or maybe you put a large down payment down at the time of purchase, you can now refinance what you currently have financed and stretch it out up to potentially the value of your home. So there's a little bit of caveat to that. If it's a first home, if it's a second home, if it's an investment property, you might not be able to get the full value out, but you can get a certain percentage out of what's available. Okay,
so let's chat about that for a minute. So let's say somebody comes in right now and the prices, again, they're staying, they're holding steady.
Consistent.
Okay, we're consistent right around the sixes. If you're FHA, low sixes, and you purchase a house. And then in 2 years, the rates drop into, I don't know, mid fours, which
that would be awesome.
Let's just say 5. 5%. If somebody is locked in at 6.1, is it worth it for them to refinance when it drops down to 5?
That's a great question. In a lot of cases, it is. I mean, that's a huge drop in rate. Even potentially 0.5% in your rate could make a difference for you. So what I do is I evaluate, okay, what is your current payment? and what is your payment if you refinance, in addition to the closing costs that you'll pay at the time of refinance. Because anytime you do a new loan, that old loan that you currently have closes out. So you have to redo all of those things, title fees, appraisal potentially, those kinds of things. All of those have to be redone. So we look at those closing costs, compare it to what you're currently paying versus what you will pay, and see where that recoup time is. So if you're planning on being in the home for a while, yeah, it could definitely make a difference. If you only plan to keep the home for another year, you might not recoup the costs that you've got to pay to do that refinance. So I can help you evaluate that to see, hey, does it make sense? In a lot of cases, it does.
So, and right now in the neutral market that we're in, sellers are still offering some concessions. So you can do a temporary buy down for a couple of years, see where the rate is in the 2 years. I think the thing you have to know is if the rate doesn't go down, what is your monthly payment going to be? Because you don't want to overextend yourself. Right? We can give you a break. So just keep that in mind too. I mean, everybody is saying in a couple of years it'll drop, but you just want to make sure you know, okay, can I really afford this if the rates don't go down? Now, if they go up, you don't care because you're locked in at that rate. You're just kind of watching if it goes down. So never, ever overextend yourself. Always know what my monthly payment's going to be. If I get a temporary buy down, that's great. You're going to save hundreds of dollars a month for the first year or two. But and
when we do a buy down, I also help you recoup that. I show you, okay, this is what it costs to do that buy down. So that way you know how many years it takes you to kind of recoup that upfront cost. Or like Cliff's saying, if it came from the seller, that's free money.
So just keep in mind what you got to figure out what your monthly payment's going to be if the rate doesn't go down.
And then the other question that we get a lot is opposite. If you have one of those COVID rates where you got in at 2.5%, 3%,
keep it. Sorry.
Right? Yeah. A lot of people, does it make sense to keep that rate now that rates are in the 6s, high 5s? It depends on what you're needing to refinance for.
That's true. No, that's true.
Sometimes people need cash out.
Right.
So let's look at, are we pulling cash out to consolidate other debt that has higher interest rates? If you've got credit cards, gosh, those are in the high 20s right now.
So your rate, you could be better if
you could be better off for your total monthly expense. So I can help you evaluate that as well. If you've got cars you're wanting to pay off that have higher rates, maybe you had trouble with your credit and you have a higher rate there, or like I said, credit cards, that's a big one right now. So we can help you consolidate.
Let's run a scenario. Let's say that somebody bought a $500,000, their house is worth $500,000. Okay. So they have $200,000 left on their loan, their mortgage they have now. Okay. So let's just
they've got equity of $300,000.
So technically they could almost get, if they did a cash out refinance, could they receive almost the $300,000? I mean, there's going to be some cost in there, but
so it's going to determine your debt ratio, like we talked about the other day. Your debt ratio is going to come into play, and the loan to value, of course. In most cases, on a refinance, you can get at least 80% of the value. So whatever you currently owe on that mortgage plus the remaining up to 80%. If it's an investment property, that might be a little bit less. But if it's a primary home for you, at least 80%.
So do they have, on the cash out, can they kind of negotiate the terms? In other words, hey, I only need $100,000 to pay off my credit cards. Or I need $100,000 to pay off credit cards and this car bill or a medical bill. Instead of getting the full $500,000 or $460,000, could they just say, hey, we'd like a loan for $300,000, pay off the original mortgage and keep $100,000 for ourselves? Could they do that?
Absolutely.
So that would be smart, especially if you do have high credit card bills that your interest rate could be 20. I think some are even 25%.
Yeah, I saw one the other day that was 29.
You know, you compare a 6.5% to 25%, you're winning. So you know that'd be a good option. So that's cash out. So rate and term, that means that you're actually going to refinance the whole house. You're going to get the 30-year loan more than likely. And then your rate is hopefully it's going to drop. You don't want to refinance and go up unless you have other circumstances like the cash out.
If you've got 20 years left on your loan or 15 years and for some reason you're wanting to stretch it back out to 30, even if it's a higher rate, that's going to be a better payment for you. So there are some situations. Everybody's situation is unique. So that's why it's important to talk with a lender who's in it every day and can help you evaluate all those different little nuances.
Yeah, and be ready to ask any question. There is no
that's what we're here
question.
For. That's what we're here for.
All questions are good, because sometimes our clients give us a question we don't know. We have to research it, so we also learn as well. But we have the means to research it, so we can go to people who have knowledge and other means.
And it helps us put all the pieces together. If we don't know your full situation, we can't help advise you best situation for yourself.
Yeah, great, good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, a little longer than normal, but hopefully that was informative.
Yeah.
Here's the QR code. Again, Bex and I do those free consultations. Sign up. Love to chat with you, and you can get a bunch of your questions answered.
Yeah.
So sign up.
Yeah.
Okay, Bex, have a great week. Thanks for taking the time on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye.